Hello, welcome to JAV Show. This is Jorge.
And this is Viv.
I'm back.
Hello, guys.
I feel like we've been lazy lately, but that's okay.
A little bit.
Then we should find someone eventually to come on the show.
Yes, we should. I was thinking today actually to ask Butch back. Specifically because last time we had Butch on, he was going through a little bit of a life crisis. I played this whole scene out in my head.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, we should ask Butch to come back because last time he was going through a little bit of a life crisis, and not life crisis per se, but he was thinking of quitting school.
Yeah.
And then just deciding what to do with his career after that. And when I played this out of my head, I thought that perhaps Butch would be like, so, is my life's issues becoming just content for you?
Yes.
And in my head, we both answered yes.
Absolutely.
But that we still care, but also yes.
Yes. I mean, I feel like my life is so dull that anything is almost content.
What's the most exciting thing that's happening in your life right now? I think I know.
My car.
Yes.
Yeah, it's literally it. It's just, I've literally been nonstop thinking about it and nonstop working on it. And like, I probably spent so much money on like tools and parts and shit in like the last month.
It must be so fun though.
It is. I mean, I don't like to spend a lot of money, but I kind of justify it as in like, I got the car for pretty cheap. So to like offset that, because I would have bought a project car for more expensive anyways, I could buy all the tools I actually need to do the job right.
And you'll never need to buy these tools ever again. And if they become useless or you just don't use them anymore, you can just resell them. Yeah.
I've been like consumed with watching a lot of videos on car stuff and things like that. And I'm very, very tempted to like buy another car to rebuild the engine.
Oh my god.
Because I don't want to rebuild the engine of my car because it's actually pretty good still. Or I don't need to do it for another like year or two.
The car that you just bought?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
shit.
It's actually pretty decent, it feels at least.
Oh shit.
But I probably won't unless...
Where would you keep the second car?
So this was the plan in my head. I'm not sure if I already told you this or not. My little cousin wants a car.
Yes. You
and
did tell me.
Dude, we could buy a beater and I can help you fix it. And then, you know, slowly through time, we could make it better and better. And then, you know, you'll have a pretty decent car at the end of it, right? But I don't want to like force someone else into it. Like my cousin said she wants to work on, so she's in school in mechanical engineering in co-op.
Yes.
So she's kind of like following my same path. And she wants to work on it. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've known you your whole life. I'm not saying you like whistle on stuff. But from my life experience, it's not good to rely on someone else on a project you want to do. Right? Or I guess I don't know how to say it, but like I feel like very few times do the projects I want to do align with someone else.
That makes sense.
Right? I feel like the commitment level is never the same. And then I feel like that just brews disappointment. Right? So it's like, if you want to do it, I'll help you do it. But if I want to do it, that's a different story now. Right? So I feel like I have to wait for her to initiate it and her to like come up to me and be like, I want to do this. And I'm like,
I feel like you still have to pitch the idea though, because I believe in this thing that if you want something, you have to go and get it. Because if you're always waiting, if you wait for somebody else to initiate, then you lose 50% of your chance of it happening.
Yeah, but it's weird because like I want her to want it. I don't.
You know what that sounds like?
I don't need it. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't change my life. But I want her to to desire having this vehicle because she needs it for work. Yes. I think she needs it for work. But at the same time, like she has 2 sisters, so their family right now, so the 5 of them have 4 cars. Yes. Right? So it's like they could make it work. This could just be more money they don't need to dump. Yeah. So then that's why I was like, I want her to really need it. Because then she'll be motivated and then I can help guide her.
That makes sense.
Like it'll be cheaper because like she won't need to buy the tools for it. She won't need to like worry about not being able to figure it out. Because like it is like when you're young and you're trying to like, you know, do these things, it is kind of worrying to like figure it out. Especially like if you need the car the next day, you're like, fuck, what do I do? Right? Yeah. So I feel like I need to get her to initiate it, but like brew like a little seed and let her say it and let her want it.
I get what you mean. I was gonna say that sounds like girls when they're like, I don't want to ask him to buy me flowers because I want him to want to buy me flowers. And I'm like, well, you have to at least say that you like receiving flowers type of thing.
That's true. Yeah.
So I feel like you should at least tell her like, hey, if you ever buy a beater car, I'm open to doing this.
Yeah, that's true. Like I know my aunt, her mom is like a little picky. She's like, she wants a certain car like this and like that. I was like, dude, if you get a beater, you get what you get.
Oh yeah.
Like you get what you get and you deal with the problems, and it's gonna suck for like a couple of years, but then at the end of it you're gonna learn so much and you're gonna feel more invincible when it comes to cars and stuff.
I was gonna say I'm not sure if she wants to learn anymore.
Like when I asked her, she said she wants to learn about that stuff.
Oh,
I was like,
because it's like her passion, or
it's not, well,
because it's something like, oh, I don't mind learning.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like that, I can't answer. Like when I asked her, like, do you even know how to like do all these things, like change your oil and change your tires and do all these things? She's like, no. I was like, maybe something you should want to learn first, and then I can teach you a lot of stuff. Because I feel like our generation, very, very few people know how to do that.
Change your tire?
Like, yeah, I feel like a lot of our friends and stuff, I feel like not a lot of them knows how to like change your tires, change your oils, do some like basic maintenance stuff on their cars.
I agree. I think generally not a lot of people know how to do a lot of basic things.
Yeah, like if your car had a flat tire and you're at, say, the mall, makes it easier, right? On the road, honestly, it is a little scary if you try to change your own tire while you're like on a live street.
Yeah.
Because someone could just hit you while you're like trying to jack up your car.
Yeah.
But if you can pull over into a parking lot or something like that, something safer, then can you change your tire, right? Like I've done literally that simple scenario not many times, but my old car was a piece of shit, so I've done it like several times.
I've changed tires before.
And like with the shitty tools in your car, it didn't take me long. It took me like 15-minute max, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like those are some of the basics you should have at least when you own a car, but I feel like not a lot of people have that skill.
I agree. I feel like when you own a car or when you do anything in life, if that thing is something that you own or an aspect of your life that you have to be responsible for, then you should know the basic ways to take care of it. Whatever it is, like a house, a car, yourself.
See, that's the thing. Even the house, I feel like not a lot of people know how to do the things in the house. It's it's so few things they know how to do that they'll just always instantly call. And I'm not saying it's bad to ask for help, but like some of the basic shit, I feel like
you should just know. I agree. Yeah. I fully agree.
So I feel like I know most of the basic shit. So when people ask, I was like, I'm pretty confident I can figure it out at least.
I do think that you're very handy of a person.
Yeah. So then, yeah. But then I don't want to like force that on people, right? So I was like, if people want to learn, they can learn. And if they need help, I'm always down to help. But I don't want to be like, you know, you have to learn how to change your tires if you want a car and shit. It's like, it's up to you.
Their parent.
It's up to you. Like, I know if I actually don't think Joyce knows how to change her tires, but actually maybe she does. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if that happened in Edmonton, she would just call me or something, and I'll just go there and do it. Right? You know what I mean?
Happily.
Yeah, I'd just be like, okay, whatever. But I feel like a lot of people have that set up, right? Which is really scary when people move to somewhere like totally new.
Yeah.
Like, where they don't have any family. It's like, who the fuck do you call? Like, I guess, yeah, if you paid for AMA, you can call AMA, but
you could always ask for help from like anybody.
Yeah.
Or at least official services.
Yeah.
But I still agree that I think it's good to know how to do these basic things yourself.
Yeah. I pride myself in ideally being able to survive anywhere. Ideally. Not like North Pole or like Antarctica or any shit like that, but like in any city I can, figure out how to do shit and like live my life.
What's your go-to ideal way to start a fire?
My go-to ideal way?
Yes.
I feel like if you don't have any tools, you're already in a fucked situation. Like, I feel like starting a fire is great, but if you have zero tools, you're kind of fucked moving forward. Right? Like, you have a base of nothing. I always feel like the best thing you can do is like find something. Like, find a stream of water first before you even think about fire.
Okay.
Find like, okay, which direction is civilization or what I should do first. I feel like building a fire is,
if you really feel like you're stuck and you have to stay overnight.
Yeah, it's like you're really fucked by then, right? And then it's like should you commit the energy, because now you have to really conserve energy to start a fire, but the only thing a fire can do is warm yourself if you can't cook something. Right? So,
or serve as a type of signal.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like if you had 0 tools, I feel like it'd be really fucking hard.
Yeah, of course.
Like just with sticks, you just have to try and create enough friction to get like some dry wood really hot, and that's it.
Or grab some sort of rock to create some flint.
Yeah, but that's about it. Like sticks, dry wood, and rocks. That's all you can really do. So I don't know. Like that's the first thing I'd look for if I had to. But I feel like I'm already fucked if I had to look.
That's true. I think that's a very good answer.
I don't know. I just feel like the first situation or the first thing you should do is just look for help rather than that.
I agree.
Right.
Or if you're hiking and you lost track of where you were, literally just stay in your same spot.
Yeah, but see, that's the other thing too. I think sometimes I'm like over cautious about those things. So like if I were to ever go on like that type of hike, I would bring something that would get me out. Right? It's like I know not a lot of people do this, but when I go on hikes sometimes in Banff and stuff, I bring bear spray. I know it's not cheap. It's not that expensive either.
It's not legal, right?
Yeah. No, well you should bring it if you know there's bears around. So it's like I'm the type that would bring the extra stuff.
Oh, it's pepper spray. That's not legal.
Yeah. Like bear spray is like I know a lot of people that hike don't do it. But what I'm saying is if I'm putting myself in that situation, I would probably have bear spray.
That's true.
Right. Or it's like if I go on vacation, I probably have like my multi-tool, I probably have carabiners, I have everything that I need, even though I probably won't use it. Yeah. So I'm usually over prepared in those situations because I want to like not die. Usually,
that's pretty.
Even though it's a pretty low chance, especially the places I go to. I'm like a city guy, so I don't know.
What would a carabiner do for you?
Do you feel? Just make your life easier. Carrying shit.
Oh, I see. Like in a survival.
Yeah, instant? like if you found twine that you can like carry something you wanted, then you can hook it to your carabiner and hook it to yourself and walk.
Oh,
or you have to drag someone or something, you can find twine to hook to your carabiner to drag that thing.
True.
Like if your friend was hurt or something.
So do you bring twine with you? Twine seems like a very pivotal thing.
No, it's like you just get like dry twigs and shit. You can twist it and stuff.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, and you get enough of that stacked. That's pretty good.
Shit, all right. I think you'd survive if you went on Survivor.
Well, no, like I mean, I don't usually just think about surviving. Usually, I'm going with someone. So I was like, man, if this person's useless, what do I do?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a no-go usually.
I think figuring out where to find fresh water, if we're actually like surviving type of shit, would be really hard. I'd be very skeptical of almost every water source. Unless it's like flowing water would be the safest, I feel. But still.
But okay, so like the other thing for me is like I think I don't think about this as much because I don't put myself in that scenario.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Like I don't go out on crazy long hikes, right?
Yeah.
Like the hikes I go to, if I'm like hurt my ankle, I'm like 15 minutes away from like a public road. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'll just hobble there, I guess.
Is that a fucking hike?
I mean, it's maybe not 15 minutes when you're hobbling, but
a public road or like a public trail, like a very
just like somewhere where I could probably ask for help or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like you'd probably bring your phone.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going anywhere so far out in the outback that I won't have signal. I have at least a little bit of signal, and that's probably enough for an emergency call, right?
That's true.
So then it's like I feel like I don't put myself in those situations, so I don't like think about it too much.
That's true.
But I mean, maybe I should. I have no idea if I should or not, because it's like I don't enjoy like long.
Yeah,
hikes.
Me neither.
So it's like
I think hiking is very unrewarding.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I feel like when people get to the top of a hike, they're usually like, "Oh, but the view! Oh my god, the view makes it all worth it." I don't go on crazy hikes either, but I haven't gone on a single hike where I've gone up and I'm like, "This was worth it." When I make it up at the top, I'm like, "Good, you finished your goal. Now you can go back down." That's the reward I get, knowing that I can go back.
It's mostly, I feel like for me, it's mostly a physical workout type of reward. Rather than this is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I could physically do it. That feels nice. And then that's it. Not like, oh, this view was so rewarding.
Oh yeah. It's never the view.
Maybe one day at the end of a long hike, there's some like amazing restaurant. but I highly, highly doubt it because that restaurant's probably shit if it's at end of a long hike.
Yeah.
It's probably like cheese sandwiches or some bullshit.
I agree.
Right?
Or some stingy soup.
Yeah. Like I feel like I can remember so many more times where I found like a really cool spot to eat at a really cool restaurant that's not that expensive, and I felt more rewarded from that than going on some long hike.
Oh fuck yeah.
Where it's like, oh my god, this spot is like a diamond in the rough kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then a hike, I'd be like, yeah, this is nice.
I feel more rewarded doing all my chores than going on a hike.
Yeah. I mean, I do admit, like, some of the hikes in Hawaii were pretty cool, but I didn't think they were that bad. Like, there's one that's like a bunch of stairwell all the way up pretty high. It's not the illegal one. It's like an actual trail. It's like stairs and stuff. And I thought it wasn't too hard, but I can see some people struggling. Like, I think one person just like twisted their ankle on the way down or some shit.
Oh my god.
I was like, damn, that sucks to be you. I'm just gonna be careful.
Shit, I was just gonna say, okay, now that you're mentioning Hawaii,
yeah,
I went on a hike in Thailand.
Yeah.
And that view was actually pretty sick.
It was. I just feel like, I don't know.
But you know what the stupid thing is?
Yeah.
It was a viewing point.
Yeah.
And in order to get there, I went through this back alleyway because I followed the signs. Yeah. And I followed what this one person like told us.
Yeah.
And okay, I forgot which island this was on. Maybe Fifi Island or one of those islands.
Yeah.
But I took the back way, and in the back way, most of the island is very it's very like catered to tourists.
Yeah.
And the way that I went through like this tiny little forest, and right when I got to the other side, I was like, oh, this is definitely the side where like the locals live. Yeah. And the tourists never really go there because the type of housing that was there was completely 100% different from all the houses that I saw on the rest of the island. Yeah. And you could see like clothes being hung up between trees. You could see like some places being boarded up and like broken fences here and there, or like it just looked significantly more impoverished than the rest of the island. And I was like, this would be really fucking dangerous if I was here in the middle of the night. Like, it looked like some sort of creepy, spirited away.
Aren't there like sketchy snakes in Thailand? Like
maybe
boas and shit or something?
Maybe, I don't know. So I was there, okay? And you could see like bikes on the side of the street, and like it looked like a tiny little village that was hidden away from everything else, and everyone like knew each other type of thing, okay? And you can see like clothes being hung up on the trees, like clothing line being hung up from here and here and here, crazy telephone wires hung up freaking everywhere. Yeah. So I went through that area, and then afterwards when I got to the end of that little house village thing, it was a whole bunch of big ass rocks that I just kept climbing because I was like, oh, it has to be this way. And there was a sign that said the viewpoint was this way. So I climbed up these rocks, and it was steeper. It was like steeper than a 45-degree angle for sure.
Okay.
So I climbed up a few rocks, went up this like bumpy.
No way it's steeper than 45.
It was pretty steep.
Like 45 in or 45 out?
Like an angle. Like I'm climbing a hill.
Oh,
but a pretty steep hill.
Okay. I was like, I thought you were like campusing that shit.
No.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. So it's like steep hill.
Yeah. And then afterwards, walking up this really bumpy, gravelly, uneven path that was still pretty steep. And then eventually I got up to the top, and the top was really freaking nice. Like they had wooden boards covering up the whole top part area, and then it like hung off the edge so you could sit on the edge and like watch. It was like an official viewpoint area. And when I was talking to some of the people around there, they were like, oh yeah, like it was so nice, it's actually pretty easy getting up here, so relaxing. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean easy? You're kidding me? That was like so dangerous. I felt the whole time. I was like, oh my god, maybe I should turn back. And they're like, what do you mean?
Did you take the wrong way?
I took the wrong way, and she freaking pointed to the other side, and it was paved. There were stairs. There was railings and everything, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It was cement paved stairs. It was perfectly like made for people to come up normally and nicely. Like you'd wear heels to come up. That's how nicely that path was paved. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
God damn. Yeah, I mean, when I went up Taipei Mountain, whatever that is, just north of Taipei, like pretty much on the city edge, there's a giant mountain. Yeah, it's not like a mountain like here, but it's like a really, really big hill. Let's just say that, right? And then I hiked up that, and when
is there a rock at the very top?
I don't know,
like a giant rock.
Not really. Like when I started at the bottom, it was like 30 degrees. It was like hot as fuck.
Oh shit.
And I hiked up, and then by the time I got to the top, I was in the clouds.
Like, oh my god!
Literally, so it was like 15 degrees. It was like cold. Like I had to put my jacket on.
Whoa.
But I couldn't see shit because I was like literally in the clouds. Like it's just clouds everywhere. It's just like you could see about like just as far as me from you, and then from that it's just like white.
Holy shit!
And then I was like, damn, it sucks. I have no viewpoint up here. We're just like there's some other people that also climbed, and we're just like, because this was during my solo trip, and I was just standing there with them. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then afterwards, you literally just like hike down a different way, and then there's a bus that can pick you up that bring you back to the city.
Oh, nice. Like you don't have to hike down the whole way.
You like hike up from one side and you hike down the other side, and then from the other side they have like a bus that goes around the entire mountain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that was interesting because like it was say like a harder hike, but it wasn't too bad. And then it's just like I just got unlucky that day. It was cloudy and I had zero view because like I think normally you could see like all of Taipei from there.
Oh damn! How long did it take you?
I don't know, like I think like an hour and a bit, maybe 2 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad at all.
Yeah, that's not too bad. But then I did another hike where it was also in Taiwan. And this was one of the sketchiest one I've ever done because it's like you go through and then the trail kind of like just stops and then it starts like on the other side of this rock, but then in between there's no path, but you see some rope. So then I start like climbing between with rope to walk across, and then you can finally like reach out, grab the end, and then you like pull yourself up and then you keep going on the path. It's almost like a broken path. Like you almost like climb a little bit down with ropes and then a little back up with ropes and shit. And then I was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I kept going. I was like, am I even going the right way? Am I going to get lost? And then I just kept going because I kept seeing a path. And then I ended up on like some random street. I was like, oh, well, here I am.
Oh.
And then like 5 steps or like maybe 10 paces away, there's like a bus stop. I was like, I just take the bus, I guess.
So there was no like viewpoint or final point. It just felt like you just took a detour.
You literally just felt like you were going through the jungle, like a literal jungle. Like if you imagine the Jungle Book or Tarzan and shit, you're literally like going through that shit. Book.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean that was a time when I went to Taipei, I was like, fuck, I don't know what to do, so I just went on a bunch of hikes because I felt like from my Asia trip, I was like, I'm pretty good at walking. Like my friends are dying, and I'm just like, I just keep walking. Everything feels good, feels fine. So like maybe I can do some more hikes, and I did them all.
Were you wearing wide-toed shoes?
I wore pretty comfortable shoes, I think. But I don't know. I feel like I am like a mule instead of like a horse. Like I don't think I can run that fast, but I think I can like walk for a long fucking time, much longer than most people, I think.
Oh, you'd be great for a drug mule.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, that was some sketchy hike I've done. But ever since then, I haven't really hiked that much. Like usually on vacation, my other compatriots usually tap out first. So then I was like, okay, I'll go wherever you guys want to go.
Yeah, hiking is not rewarding in my opinion.
Yeah, it's average.
You stare at the ground the whole time so that you don't trip or you don't step on anything weird. So you can't really enjoy the view until you're at the very top.
But I do feel like it's a nice in-between thing to do if there's nothing else to do. Like, I feel like in between your meals, I feel like, okay, your vacations are usually focused around the meals, or kind of.
Kind of.
And then you got to do stuff between your meals. And then that's the second focus. Or maybe it's the other way around. But yeah. But I don't tend to plan too many stuff to do because I don't like to be stressed to have to like do all these things in a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. So then I always like to do like one cool thing a day when I'm on vacation. And then the rest of the day, it's like freestyle. Like whatever's around, we go do that after. But I'm not going to like book tickets in advance to do something else like 2 hours after I do this other thing.
Yeah.
Right. So then it is a nice like walk in the park between meals or do something else between meals and shit.
But you had to prepare for it, don't you?
Well, it depends on how long the hike is. That is true. Like, I mean, in Canada, there are a lot of nice hiking stuff. I think during COVID, I like really wanted to do more hikes, but then I got super lazy.
Oh, I wonder if hiking was something people did during COVID.
Probably, because that was the few things we were allowed to do.
Yeah.
I brought Tao, but he was kind of a shithead because, like, if there's any people around, he'll just start barking at them.
Even like, when you're outside?
Yeah, I was like, dude.
And it's not his terrain?
Yeah. He just goes ham.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like, he's not too bad in the car, though. In the car, he'll just sleep. Or he'll just lay on your lap. When we're out hiking, he just wants to bark at everything. So it's like, damn, this is why we can't go on hikes, Taro.
Terrible.
But I don't know. I don't think he's a fan either. I think he can manage, but I think he gets tired after a while. And
oh, yeah. I remember that one hike that we all went on.
Yeah, I think he just got tired. And I just had to carry him the rest of the way.
That hike showed me how much energy Lumi has.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, Taro is just an old man from birth.
He's
born an old man. He's always an old man.
I can never keep up with Lumi's energy. Feels bad.
Anyways, what were we talking about again? My hobby of cars and something like that, and then kind of traced off to all this stuff. Yeah. Anyways, maybe if my cousin listens to the podcast, she'll be able to ask me to do that. But it's
I think you should just say it out.
I think
just let her know.
Okay, to be honest, if I was her age, I would be a little worried too. I'm like, I'm gonna put all this money in, and the car may or may not work well. Like,
so that you can have fun.
But I'm like, you're gonna learn a lot.
How old is she again?
She's in second year, so whatever that is.
Oh yeah. I was gonna
she
say
doesn't have a lot of money either. And I was like, I don't want to fucking pay for your project.
I was gonna say, if I was her age, then something that I would be concerned about isn't just about whether it works or not, but the aesthetic of the car.
Oh, dude, we can make it look cool. That's fine, I think.
But if it's that old of a car, you can only be so aesthetic, you know, sometimes.
Kind of. Like, your car might look ugly, like mismatched paint or shit, or like...
Wait, that's terrible.
Yeah, but then that is like... You
can make a go-kart go fast, but
no,
it won't be like...
Okay,
ooh.
So when you see someone with like a mismatched bumper, it's almost like a badge that like, oh, this guy works on cars. Like, he bought another bumper and he put it on his bumper, even though they're not the same color. And
really?
He's slowly working on cars.
That's a very positive way of looking at it. I mean,
they're literally buying parts as they go, and then they're gonna end up having a mismatched color car, and then one day they're just gonna paint the whole thing one color.
Oh.
Like, that's how you do it. Like, it's so hard to like buy it all and do it all at once unless you have a lot of money.
That is very positive way of looking at it.
So
whenever I see it outside, I'm like,
oh, this guy's poor?
I'm not poor, but I'm like, oh no, he does not have enough money to get a proper bumper.
Yeah, that's true. But then also, like, if you look at like an old Civic or something like that, you could, I think, almost not get any. Like, there's at some point, no one's making those parts anymore. So you literally have to go junkyard, grab the shit, clean it up, paint it, whatever, right? And then it's like, if you could do that, that's kind of cool. Or it's like, if you see someone with like a mismatched color car, and then one day you see them with like the same car but looking really nice, it's like, oh shit, this person put a lot of work into that. That's kind of cool. That's like dedication. That's true. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's fine. I think the aesthetics does kind of matter, but I actually think that's one of the hardest things too.
The aesthetic?
Yeah.
I think so.
Like, I feel like you put the car together, it's bolts, it's pieces, you do it by steps, everything's kind of like straightforward, other than not having tools is another hard part. But that's like, there's nothing to it. It's just like, there's no creativity, dexterity required.
Yeah, you have to make sure that there's no imperfections on the outside.
Yeah. You
have to make sure it doesn't look dull.
Yeah.
I feel like the shininess of a car and how you wax it and how you buff it out means a lot. Yes. Like, if you see a dull spot on a car, it's like, what the fuck happened over there? I feel like it's really obvious, especially if the rest of your car is polished really nicely.
It is, but I don't know. Like, I've always driven beaters my whole life, so like, I've always had scratches on my car. I don't give a fuck, right? So I don't know. I think it's not too bad. It's like, your car still works. I think focus on the stuff that matters.
Yeah, but if you're talking about aesthetics,
yeah, but
I feel like it matters.
It's also probably just like a Civic
level.
So it's like, I'm not going to judge you on how your Civic looks like that badly.
That's true.
Right? Now, if you had like a fucking Porsche that looks like shit, then I'll be like, why'd you even buy a Porsche if you
can't maintain it?
Exactly, right? But then if you had a Civic that was kind of like a beater looking, it's like, that's about right, you know? That's how, like, you know, like, that is why people buy those cars, because they're just reliable, they get you point A, point B, you don't care too much about like the mini scratches and dents and paint and shit like that. So I don't know. I don't judge too much. But yeah, like, when someone has, or the other pet peeve I have, if someone has like a nice ass Mustang and they're going like 10 on a speed limit, I was like, why'd you buy the car? Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
I was like, you could just buy like a Mercedes or like something that like is more luxury if you want to drive slow. Yeah. Like, this car, you're literally hurting your car.
It's ugly and you're driving slow.
I mean, like, if you have a performance car and you're driving slow, you're literally hurting your car because it was meant for higher
yes, I agree.
RPMs and higher everything, right?
It's almost like, why the fuck did you buy this?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's what I think too.
What a disgrace to the car.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I feel like if you're scared to drive it fast, it's like, it's not the car for you then. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, there are many other cars that are either the same price or maybe even cheaper. they're more comfortable, probably, and you probably enjoy that more.
It's like you're a bad driver and you bought a bad car for you.
Yeah, like it's not good for you. Like, it just doesn't fit you. Yeah, that's some shit I hate. It's like when I'm going in my Accord and and I pass a guy with a Mustang that's going 10 and I was like, there's no point, dude. Like, why?
Sometimes I think that if they have a performance car and they're driving slower than the speed limit or just slower than what they should.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think this guy got too many speeding tickets in his life and now he's like, I'm just gonna take it slow.
I don't know. So I think I drive pretty aggressively, but I don't really get speeding tickets. I've only had like 2 in my life.
That's crazy.
Right? And I feel like I drive pretty aggressively. Like
you can drive aggressively, but not speed.
I mean, I'm on the edge all the time.
Oh my God, 10 over?
Like, I'm always on the edge.
Okay. That's fine, though.
Yeah, it's not like speeding, but it's pretty aggressive. It's like tailing everything and doing all that shit too, right?
You were pretty good when we were in LA.
Yeah, so it's like, you could still have fun with driving. Because, like, honestly, if you, like, I don't know. If you know how to do it, it's not bad. And then also, if you know the spots to speed, it's not bad too. Like, I can go like 30, 40 over on certain spots, but you just know the spots, right? And you just don't be dumb about it. It's like me speeding over the spot that I know may or may not have radar or something like that.
Somebody hiding.
The amount of time I save won't be worth it.
Yes.
I might save 2 minutes max.
Yes.
And it won't be worth it. Is my kind of mindset. Because I
fully agree now.
Whenever I drive to like Calgary or Red Deer or something like that, you know, you have the Google Maps and it tells you like time to destination. Dude, I swear, no matter how fast you go, it's like you're only a couple minutes faster than their time.
It's not true. You can cut it by like an hour.
Like I've cut it by like 20, 30 minutes, and it's just like I had to speed for quite a decent amount of that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not.
But it's not hard to speed from Edmonton to Calgary.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you take one fucking washroom break, all that speed's gone.
I mean, true, but then, you know.
So it's like, okay, what's the point of this?
It feels good, though. It's like a little game. Every single time I go on a like long drive like that, I always think, all right, how much time can I cut this by? And I'm not a dangerous driver, guys, okay? So but I'm saying, like, expectations is from Edmonton to Calgary, it's generally 3 hours if you drive the speed limit and go.
It's like
drive like a normal person.
2 hours and 45 minutes, yeah.
But normally, you can get there in probably like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I know for Vancouver, it's typically 12 hours. I think it's 12 hours technically. But you can get there in like 9.5.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the spots and how good your car is too. Because like all the single lane each way is really easy to like go super fast on.
Mm-hmm.
But the other question is like the 2 hours you save, maybe, let's just say on average. Like how much more gas are you eating up on the way there too?
Not always, as long as
like,
you maintain a fast pace.
No, yeah, but typically driving aggressively will burn a lot more.
Really? Then if you like maintain the same speed, if you're like consistently, like if you're consistently speeding, I can see how. But if you're
no, that consistently speeding would make you actually burn less fuel.
No, I mean like speeding as in like increasing your speed faster and faster.
So okay, the chances of you speeding and going up to someone's ass is pretty high. Right? And then that's when you have to brake, and that's when you lose a lot of unless you have a hybrid and you have regen and stuff, you're gonna lose a lot of the energy and the momentum you gain, right? So typically you would burn more fuel if you drive a lot more aggressively.
I can see that.
So like
that example, because you're stopping and stop.
You have to brake more.
Braking and speeding up.
Yeah. And like I've taken that drive. And it's like, like no matter how fast I went, like at like 150 down the mountain roads, I still hit someone's ass all the time. Right? It's like, you might get lucky for like a decent section, you might not, but then eventually you're always going to.
I feel like it depends on what time you drive too. I agree fully.
Yeah.
There was like 2 times when most of my drive, there was hardly anyone.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty sick. Like,
but that's also sketchy too. Because if there's no one for a while, you're like, is there going to be a cop soon? Like, is there a reason why there's so few people?
Oh, because everyone's been pulled over?
Yeah, or something like that. Like, there's a jam, right? Somewhere. And either you passed it or it's going to come up soon. Right? Whereas it's like, if you have 3 cars and you're all going like at 150, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm just waiting for the first guy to get caught.
Oh my God, yeah. I freaking love that. Whenever someone's speeding on the road, I'm like, yes, clean up the road for me. Tell me if there's any ghost cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, Joyce, when she comes back from Red Deer, I think she goes like, I want to say 150 most of the way back. Or more. But
how far is Red Deer from here?
It's like an hour and a half.
Oh.
But I see her explanation. She's like, most of the time, if you go super fast, you're gonna hit someone's ass because no one's gonna be in the right lane.
Yeah.
And then you have to slow down again. So you can almost never get caught. And then because her family drives back and forth from Red Deer all the time, she knows all the spots you could get caught, and then you're just like extra careful there. Like I remember one time I was driving back from Red Deer, and I was speeding most of the way there, and then she was telling me certain spots.
Yeah.
So I saw the spot, and I started slowing down, and then what do you know? There's a fucking cop there, and there's a guy literally trying to pass me while I see the cop. I was like,
"Oh my god,
are you dumb?" And then I think the person saw it like last second and then started braking. I was like, dude, you're so lucky you didn't get caught because for sure you were speeding.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I saw it for a while. Like I saw it like pretty much down the stretch, but it was hidden if you don't like focus. So then I was like, oh, like good thing I already started slowing down like 5 minutes ago, right? So like,
yeah,
I'm good for a while, right? And usually if you see one, you're good for the next little bit.
That's true. This one time I was speeding, and then this guy decided to change lanes and go in front of me, and then he was speeding even more. Yeah. And luckily, eventually down the road, there was these cop cars that were stopping everyone that was speeding and telling them to turn in so that they could give them a ticket. They caught the first guy, and the second I saw them catch the first guy, I slowed down so much, and I was like, "Holy shit! If this guy didn't cut in front of me, I still would have gone and caught."
Dude, there's just one time I was,
and he got pulled in, obviously.
Yeah, there's one time I was I used to go badminton somewhere like a little north of Edmonton. It's like just north of the Henday.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, there's like kind of like a freeway or highway-ish, but then there's like a stop, like a light, and then it goes back to normal freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And these two cars, it's like a giant truck and this other car, and they just raced each other at it, right? And I was behind them. I was like, no way, like these guys are so much faster than me, right? I'll just speed behind them, and I'll just see who wins, right? And then they both got pulled over by a cop. So the first guy thought he was only pulling over the truck, and then the truck pulled over, and then the guy tried to go around, and the cop was like pulling him over too.
Oh my god, where was the cop car?
It was just like on the side.
Oh.
And I think he was just like looking down the straight, right? Right after the red light, there's like a straightaway for a while.
Yeah.
And I was behind the two of them, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like I'll just go about your speed, but not as fast as you guys, because you guys are like have much better cars than me, right?
Yeah.
And then they both got caught, and like as soon as I saw it, like I slowed down so much, I was like, holy shit, I got lucky.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, because like I was like going like 140, they must have been going like 180.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course.
Fucked.
Did you know if you go 40 over the speed limit, then they can impound your car?
Oh yeah.
And
I did not know that.
You get arrested on the spot, and you get your car taken away. Like they may not impound it, but you're not allowed to drive.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I don't know. The other thing is like I don't really drive outside of Edmonton often, and I don't know. I think it's not common I would go that fast, even like 40 over a speed limit.
Yeah, 40
that's like
over
going 100 at a 60. I feel like I've almost never really done that. Or like going 120 at 80. I was like, I can kind of see that maybe on white mud, but I feel like there's so many cars that's like it's so rare
it's
to like
very
keep
hard
up that
to
pace,
do that.
right? Yeah. Like Henday maybe, but even then, like I said, I feel like there's enough pinch points and cars on the road still that it's like it's not.
Depends on when you drive. There's been a lot of times like if you go on a Henday really early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
I feel like it's nearly empty.
Oh, I don't
like
know.
Pretty much empty.
I feel like
you and like one other car.
I feel like at those times I'm just chilled. I'm just like, you know what? It's too obvious. I'm just gonna go like 10, 15 over. No one's ever gonna pull me over for that, and just go chilled. I feel like there's a difference of just like going. I feel like the skill it takes to drive aggressively and to drive fast are like different.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
anyone can press on the gas.
Yeah, so it's like there's no true enjoyment for me to speed that hard on the Henday. There's nothing. I'm just going down a straight road.
Yes.
Right? There's nothing to it, right?
I do like the speed though.
Yeah. But like speeding in like city roads and getting to your destination and stuff like that, that's a bit more useful, I find.
Yes, because that's more aggressive than if you have a clear road that you just drive straight and fast on.
It's much harder, and it's more like you just have to be more ballsy with your driving.
Yeah, and better at lane changing and all that.
Yeah, you just have to know everything around your car.
You know what I was thinking when I was on my way over here was that when you lane change, there's always a chance of you ramming into the person in front of you because, okay, what I do is I like check the person in front of me and their like distance from me and everything and their speed and to see if it looks like they're about to slow down or anything. Yeah. and then I look to my side and I'll see if there's any car visibly to my left.
Yeah.
And then usually as I'm driving, I'm always aware of all the cars in my vicinity anyways.
Yeah.
But you know, when I'm lane changing, I actively check all these things, and then I'll look in my rearview mirror, check if there's a car. Then I'll do my shoulder check, see if there's a car over there. But then today, I do a lot of lane changes when I'm on my way over here.
Yeah.
Every single time I had to do a lane change and I looked behind me and did a shoulder check, I was like, what if the car in front of me did something fucking stupid and just slammed on their brakes?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. So then after a while, I was like, fastest shoulder check out ever. Let's go.
I mean, it's easiest if you're both accelerating at the same time. I mean, they could just brake all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But
it's mostly the brake all of a sudden that would cause that, I feel.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some of those happen.
Right?
I mean, I wouldn't say I caused it necessarily, but it was that one time I told you where it's like I was
turned out of the way.
Yeah, I just like I knew I had time and space. I knew the guy up there in front of me was like stopped, so I was like, I'm gonna go like change lane, and the guy behind me was like had no idea, was just following my speed, which was way too fast for that. And they were going straight. I was changing lane, and they just like rear-ended that guy. I was like, yeah, fuck you, man. I was like, I knew I had space. I knew where I was going. I was cutting it close, but I knew what I was doing, so I wasn't too worried.
You're not like, was it a red light too?
No, it was just like one lane was slower on the freeway.
Oh, I see.
It was just one of those situations, right?
I see.
But like, I don't know. It just depends how you look, right? Because like when you drive, you should look like 3 cars ahead or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that, right? So
you should just be aware of all the cars in like your area.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, I think I remember one time the guy was changing lane, behind me, but the car in front was stopping, so I started slowing down. I saw that he wasn't really focused, so I like tapped on my brake a fuck ton of times, so then he would brake in time and not hit me. It was like, because I could see him, he was like not focused on his phone and shit and stuff. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Because like he wasn't looking ahead of me when I already knew I had to stop eventually, right? So I had to like throttle my brakes like crazy just to get him to stop first. Yeah.
I do that in the winter.
Yeah, in the winters is kind of sketchy. Like I don't have winter tires because I'm a piece of shit, but I will get some soon. But I don't know. I just stop earlier, brake earlier. I just check everything a bit better. I just don't tail as hard. Yeah,
I definitely don't tail as hard either. And in the winter, I do that like throttling thing. If I feel like, or if I know I'm gonna stop soon, or that I'm gonna stop at whatever distance, and it looks like the road is icy as shit, and there's a chance that my car could slip or somebody's could slip, I start slowing down or like pressing on my brakes so I control the car behind me too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what if you slip and you crash into me?
It's the worst when they just bladed the road.
Yeah.
Then it gets really icy.
Yeah.
Like when I see them like just behind them blading, I was like, holy shit, dude, you guys have to figure something out to not
it's so smooth.
I feel like they should blade it, and then another truck should be
just
behind
stab the
sand
ice
or something.
Yeah.
You know, like right after they blade it. Yeah. Because it's literally just slick ice after that.
I agree.
Anyways, what random shit do you want to talk about? Do you do anything interesting this week, these weeks?
This week,
last week, any of the weeks,
Let me see.
couple weeks? I have not. I have literally just been doing my car stuff. Just obsessed, watching videos, wanting to do stuff, but not having the time. And then when I have the time, I just focus on doing it. That's it.
Not necessarily. Aside from my regular scheduled things like volleyball work and the gym, not really anything. I've been doing a lot of work for my business.
Yeah.
Like a lot this week and last week. But aside from that, on my calendar that I have pulled up right now, I had Chinese New Year's last week after the podcast.
Yeah.
So that went pretty well. That was a lot of fun. I went over to my aunt's house and it was pretty efficient this year. So normally, I'm not married or anything, so I still receive Red Pocket.
Same.
Normally, what we would do is we would have one of the married couples sit in 2 chairs, and then everyone would be like, okay, let's line up or whatever, and then you take your time going like, oh, go hey fat choy, like sit down, blah blah blah. I forgot the Vietnamese one. It's like chuk nam nam moy or whatever whatever. You say all that family stuff. You say whatever you want to say, and honestly, every single year I kind of make a joke out of it. I just say something nice to the people that I don't have to be like respectful to in that way, or really traditional to. I'll say something like, oh, nice sao jaw, there's some shit like that, and then they're like, oh, okay, here's a Red Pocket. So this year what my family did is that we had all the married people and like all the parents sit in a line, or like kind of like a curved circle, and then all the people that weren't married stood in a line, and we just like went by, and was like, oh, like Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Let me just collect it all, and okay, everyone, let's go eat. It was great. It was super efficient.
I think back when my grandpa was still around, we used to do it the old style that way.
Yes.
And then we've given up since then. So it's literally just I'll go over, we'll start eating or do some random shit, and then once anyone's about to leave, they all just start pulling out the red envelopes, and then it's just, I don't know. Back then, we had to remember all these phrases and shit. Now I'm just like, Happy New Year. I was like, fuck it, because like
2025, baby.
For me, I don't know. I always felt weird because a part of me felt like indebted to them. Oh, you're giving me money. You're so great.
I know. And it feels really weird at this age.
And then a part of me is like, I don't need this money. Like, this is not, like, this doesn't do anything for me.
As a kid, I'd be like, yes, this is the money I expected to get because this is part of my income, and I'm going to put this inside my wallet that I'm hiding behind my bookshelf.
Yes, this is my part of my untaxable income that I'm getting every year that I can plan to, like, buy something cool with. But at this point, I'm like, I feel like you need this money more than me. I was like, I'm not sure, man. You got kids and stuff going on. I was like, you need this money way more than me right now.
Yeah, now you're just doing it for tradition. And it's like, okay, thanks.
So then for me, I'm like,
feels kind of weird. I'd rather not do it if I could.
Yeah. So right now I'm just like, great. If you forget me this year, I don't give a shit. I don't really give a fuck. Like, at all. Times are tough. Whatever.
If people decide not to do it this year or ever again, great.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life now. Yeah, I understand. As a kid, it was nicer. When you're older, it's kind of like whatever.
I agree.
I mean, I do it. If I do get married one day in the future, then I do have to give it out. Then it'd be kind of cool to give it out because that's like returning the favor and shit. But yeah, you're right. I'm at the point where I'm like, I would like the money. I'm not gonna beg for it. So if you ask me to beg for it, I'm walking away right now.
If you want me to wish you Happy New Year's, you better fuck off.
Yeah. I was like, I want you to know, I would like it. It's nice. I don't need it at all in any way.
Yes.
It's nice to have. I don't need it.
Say Happy New Year's. No, fuck you.
I was like, no, you say Happy New Year's.
To me.
Yeah. So I think this year, we usually like all gather somewhere. But this year, I think, so this year my grandma went to the hospital because she fell and then she's at a senior center now. So like we couldn't find a way to gather all of us.
Yeah.
So then my one aunt had a party, but only like half of us showed up.
Oh, why?
The other half just couldn't make it. I don't know why. I didn't ask questions, right?
Okay.
And then this year the food was like honestly very average. So I was like, it is what it is. Especially because we're vegetarian every year. So it's like the food's usually shit. Actually, ever since my grandpa passed away, we actually don't eat together. We literally eat dessert together. Like we all come after dinner.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
Just because we're all vegetarian and the food fucking sucks.
Oh, so there's like no point. Almost.
Kinda. Like we have our year-end family dinner. So that's like me, my siblings and stuff like that, and my parents. But that's separate. And then when the bigger whole of the family, we just meet up for like desserts like tongyun and all that stuff afterwards. And then we just do the Lacey thing after there. So we just stopped, I don't know, celebrating as much. It is kind of disappointing because it's like, it is true. There's nothing we can really eat. Like almost half of my family parties every year are vegetarian because half my family is vegetarian.
I can see
so like
that.
if any of them are vegetarian and it's their birthday, it's like, it doesn't make sense for us to buy meat.
Yeah.
Right. We would just all eat vegetarian if you're a vegetarian, right? So then there's only so limited options. Like we've had, it's pretty much always just either tahe vegetarian food, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like talmi and all that stuff. And then pizza. And that's about it. It's like nothing else is really,
sucks.
Yeah.
Like cheese pizza?
Those veg pizzas are decent. But it's like, there's not much variety. So at some point I'm just like, I don't know. I stopped eating that much at those parties now. I'm like, I fucking had this last month. It's the same shit every month.
I see that.
Special. So yeah.
At my family's parties, it's usually Chinese and Viet food that's there.
Yeah. But it's like,
and then
there's
some
a
random
variety.
Caucasian dishes like mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Which
shit
is
like
nice.
that. Yeah.
There's a variety. There's a lot of good foods and stuff like that. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but vegetarian, there's only so much you can do, and no one's willing to put in the effort too.
I agree.
Because like everyone's so busy during Chinese New Year's, no one wants to like cook a nice meal, right? We do that like pre the Tunlin Fan, the year-end dinner, and then as soon as Chinese New Year's hit, we're all so busy and shit. We're like, nah, no one's gonna cook.
Is the dessert that you guys have really good then?
This year, no, it's average.
Oh,
I mean, the last couple of years, it was like tongyu and stuff like that, or like red bean stuff. I don't know how to say. Like, I like. Are
you still eating?
Yeah.
Chai?
It's still next week. I like desserts, but I think Asian desserts is too mellow sometimes. Like, you know how they like it not sweet?
Oh my freaking
sometimes
God.
I'm like,
Asian desserts are my favorite.
I feel like sometimes it's too bland.
That means they just suck at making it.
Probably. Like, most likely. But my family likes it that way, so I was like, I'm not gonna like fucking I'm not gonna be a monster, grab the bowl of soup and add sugar to it.
Is that monster? I would do it.
That's fucking weird. It's like, hey, your soup sucks. I'm gonna put some sugar in this shit.
It doesn't mean it sucks. It just means to your preference. You just think it needs to be sweeter.
Nah, I'm good. They're all gonna call me fat or something. The classic Asian family thing, right? Like, you a fat fuck. So
you don't look too skinny yourself, Aunt Margaret.
Yeah, Aunt Tubby. Yeah, so I don't know. I get that a lot of people have great family parties and shit, but I'm at the point now. I also feel like I'm at the point of my age where just some stuff doesn't surprise me anymore with food. So it's like I'm not as excited for it. It's like I need something new or something fresh. And
I can see that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think my family's been putting in a lot of effort the last few years for our family parties.
Yeah.
Like for Christmas, we have family games.
Yeah.
And I guess that's been going on for a while, but every single year they elevate it more and more and more.
Oh.
And they put more planning into doing the games. And then for Chinese New Year's, we also played some games, which is kind of like not traditional.
Yeah.
Right? But they planned games for us to do that were like centered around Chinese New Year's.
That's pretty
cool. And we
cool.
also played that other game where it's like a Vietnamese betting game or a gambling game where they have 6 circles.
Of course it is. And I know exactly that game.
And then you like bet whether the crab or whatever is going to pop up on the dice. Yeah, we played that too.
Yeah.
And then we did karaoke, which is why I stayed a lot longer than I was planning because of karaoke.
You had to show off to your family?
Actually, my dad and my aunt are also really good singers.
Oh, really? They have a rap battle or something?
Not a rap battle, but they kept singing Chinese songs. And I feel like my dad's a really good singer.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice when they do it. It's fun for them. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to stay out of it. They're reliving their youth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to step away from this shit and let them do their own thing.
I see that.
I was going to say before you were saying that stuff, I find that nowadays I'm not full at the end of family dinner anymore because I'm tired of the food by then. So I was like, fuck.
I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of the food.
So it's like I want to eat more, but I'm kind of tired of the taste of all this. So it's like, fuck.
That's hilarious.
I know. So I was like, maybe I should, I don't know.
Bring a sauce that you really like every year.
Something like that.
I feel like that
something to change it up. But also because
do sauce roulette.
It's weird. It's weird that I get tired of food because during the weekday I eat the same shit every day. But then that's purely for like caloric intake. And then at a party, I would like try every dish and I'll try the stuff I like again. And it's like, I'm not full, but nothing's.
But thanks.
But nothing's surprising me anymore. So I'm just going to move on.
This isn't hitting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you brought hot sauce or some sort of sauce, it could make it interesting.
Something like that. There are some dishes I really like. And then that's when I actually get full from
like what?
Family dinner. Usually any fatty meat dishes.
Ooh.
I'm a fat boy. I like anything with fat.
Ooh.
So like brisket. Brisket's pretty bomb. There's a lot of fat in it. I like that. But yeah, any meaty, fatty dish, deep fried dishes.
Do you like foie gras?
Foie gras.
Foie gras.
It's when it's done right, it's really fucking good. So the first time I had it, I was in Quebec City. So it's like I was like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever.
I actually thought it was really fucking good too.
Like, holy fuck! I was like, I would stuff more. Is it duck or geese?
Duck liver.
No, they force feed those animals.
Yeah.
It's like super cruel.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but
I've watched PETA videos on it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but
they literally make them like deep throat this pipe, and they force grains into their mouth.
Is it just to get them really, really fat?
Yeah.
Oh.
To replace the cells in their liver with fat cells, essentially.
Oh, I see.
They want their liver to contain as much fat as possible.
Before they kill them.
Yes, before they kill it.
Anyways, they're really delicious. I really, really like it, but I feel like I've had bad foie gras before too.
Oh, really?
Like they're not all the same. So
where did you have bad foie
in Montreal? I had good ones in Quebec City, and then Montreal. I was like, this is not the same. I was like, this isn't as good. So there is like a quality difference.
Okay, what was the difference between the good and the bad?
Like the bad one, like tastes heavy and like
greasy.
Yeah. Whereas the
maybe
really good one,
you fat.
Maybe, but the good one like actually had flavoring. It was actually balanced. It was pretty good. So there is a. I'm no crazy foodie, but I can only say what I taste, and it just tasted different for sure.
What do you think about how they treat ducks in order to get it?
So I might just be a bad person, but sometimes I just turn a blind eye on some stuff. You know, it's like I get it. We want no like caged animal and all this stuff, like a lot of animal cruelty, but I do like fried chicken. It's the only way we can get fried chicken. Like fried chicken's not made from no free range chickens and shit.
Not the only way, but in a way that's sustainable to the demand of the people that want it. Yeah, unfortunately,
like currently, you can't just abolish all factory farming.
Yes,
like we would starve.
You can't let all the chickens roam free in nice fields that can contain all of them and have them all be happy and healthy.
Yeah,
but also meet the demand of people who want chicken.
Yeah, so then it's like, is there a better way of doing it? Yes, but I can't tackle all of the world's problems.
And it also cuts profits for people who do business, and the world runs on business.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, there's a good way, but I already pray for world peace, so I can't solve everything. I can't pray for everything.
And he talks to Jesus.
You can't ask for everything sometimes.
That
and
is true.
I feel like everyone has their thing they should be doing, and this one's not mine.
It feels pretty bad to me, but I have tried it before because I do want to try it.
Yeah.
And it's freaking delicious.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yes. I tried it in Edmonton, actually.
Oh, yeah?
At this restaurant called The Mark.
Oh.
I wonder if you could search it up. I've only been there once before, but that one time.
It costs an arm and a leg, though?
It's with a C. M-A-R-C.
The Marquet?
The Mark in downtown Edmonton. The M-A-R-C.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, somewhere on here.
This is their lunch menu, so maybe it's not there.
Oh, I went for dinner.
This is their dinner menu, and
do they have it on there?
They have duck breast. Duck breast is pretty fucking good too. Yeah, they don't have it on there.
Okay, well, when I went, they had it on there, and it was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking good.
I feel like the biggest thing people sleep on when they keep asking me is like, hey, where should I go on vacation shit? I was like, have you been to France? And they're like, no. I was like, you should go.
I love France.
Because their base level of food is like really fucking good.
I really, really like France.
They're like, you go to a random restaurant, it's like not the best restaurant there, not the worst. It's just a decent average restaurant. It's way better than anything we already have here.
I agree.
It's like their average is just so much better.
For sure.
Yeah.
France is the place that made me realize that high quality ingredients really does make a huge ass fucking difference to any fucking dish and anything you make.
I just thought they were better. That's it.
Yeah, probably because of the ingredients. Like literally, you can order the most basic ass thing, and you order an omelet in France, it should taste like a fucking omelet in America or in Canada. Yeah, because you're still using eggs, salt, maybe butter. Yeah, maybe pepper, whatever it is. But in France, I don't know how to say it. It just tastes so fucking good.
Yes,
it just tastes better. It tastes like the best plain omelet you've ever had. Everything you do.
Like I felt like I was spoiled when I was there because I was like every meal was already top tier for me. But I don't think that's true for all of Europe. Also, when I went to Spain, I felt like there are some niche things that they're better at, but overall, the quality was better in France still.
Oh yes.
So I was like, man, people keep asking me, "Oh, should I go here? Should I go there?" I was like, dude, if you've never been to France, just fucking go there. They are already so open to tourism, and their food is so fucking good.
I think Italy is also really good.
Oh yeah, that's another place I really want to go to for that specific reason. Like I just want to get like a fuck ton of pasta and like all this other like meatballs and chicken parm and all this shit. But yeah, people sleep on it, especially because all my friends are Asian. So like, oh, I just go to somewhere in Asia. I was like, it's not the same.
I agree.
Like, I get it. Asian food is good, but part of it being good was because you paid almost nothing for it.
Yes.
It's not like
I don't know. I feel like they do know how to put a lot of flavor and aromatic flavor at that too.
True.
But umami.
But if you were to just go like blind taste test, not knowing the flavor or not knowing the price or anything like that, on average, I feel like the French food would be pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like on average, it would be higher. I don't know if it's like significantly higher or just a little bit higher, but I just still think it's on average. Quality is better and the taste was better. So it's like, yeah, you could try all these Asian food that you've eaten your whole fucking life because most of our friends are Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could try something new and fucking amazing food. Yeah. So that's usually my first recommendation when anyone asks me now. I was like, you should go there. And if I had the opportunity, I'd probably go back.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really liked it.
For fucking sure.
Yeah.
I remember on the first day that I went there, I got this raisin croissant.
Yeah.
And I took a bite thinking like, oh, this is just going to tide me over while I'm exploring and walking around. But the second I took it, I literally stopped in my tracks and was like, holy shit, this is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And then I looked back to see the name of the place because I was just walking by there.
Yeah.
And I looked at the place and then I started looking it up. I was still standing in the middle of the street and I looked it up and I was like, holy shit, I need to remember this place. And I went back every single fucking day.
And you know, the crazy part is you go to any other breaker, it's probably
the same.
Probably just as good too. That's the crazy part.
Exactly.
And I think my first meal when I went to France, like actual meal, me and Joyce sat down at this place and we got this seafood dish and then this pizza. It was like goat cheese and honey pizza. It was almost like the best. And this was, again, just the average restaurant. They weren't known for their pizza. They weren't known for anything. And I was like, dude, this is one of the best fucking slices of pizza I've ever had.
Probably.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, they make everything so fucking good. Even their French fries are better.
Oh, I don't think I've had French fries there.
There's a lot of Muslims there, so there's like a lot of like Muslim dishes there.
Oh.
I went to this one place where we had like Turkish food in Paris. It was pretty fucking bomb too.
Where was this? I think it was in Paris. Their Chinese food sucks.
Yeah. I agree.
Sucks fucking ass.
Yeah. So I had
bad.
I had this. We went to this pho place. Apparently, it was the best pho place in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
That's reasonably priced. Like best pho place in Paris that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it and I was like, this is not that much better than our pho.
Yeah, it's because of our beef, I think.
Yes. And then we went to this like just random sushi place too, and we're like, we're never getting Asian food in Europe again.
I know.
I was like, it just doesn't work here.
It's
like,
so disappointing.
Like just their normal like sandwiches are already way better than all this Asian food there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. If you travel to Europe, at least for me, after a certain point, I was like, okay, I need some Asian food in me.
Yes.
No matter how good the other food is, I need Asian food in me. So that's why I decided to search up this Chinese restaurant and I went there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is going to hit so hard. And then when I went in, it was supposed to be like a Hong Kong restaurant. So it should be like pretty simple, but pretty good too.
Yeah.
I was talking, for some reason, the chef was the person that served me. And he was like, oh, like the reason why I opened up a restaurant is because I came from Hong Kong and I realized that there's not many good Hong Kong restaurants here. So then I thought, oh, I used to work in a restaurant back in Hong Kong. I should open up a restaurant here. And so that now I know that there's good Hong Kong food here. Yeah. That sounds so promising.
Yeah.
And when you're talking to a chef, for fucking sure. So I got a very basic thing. I got a clay rice pot with lapchung in it and bok choy and chicken. So it should be like freaking classic, super good, hard to mess up. When I got it, the dude literally like quartered one of those big bok choys and fanned it out over the thing, because you know how in a clay pot your toppings should cover pretty much all the top part of it. He took a quarter of a bok choy, fanned it out to cover literally like half of the pot, and then had the tiniest little piece of chicken that had hardly any meat, and then I think it was like 2 or 3 pieces of really thinly sliced lapchung, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
The
only thing that hit was the rice.
The thing that I feel like Caucasian countries don't understand is that we just want it to taste good. We don't care how fucking looks most of the time.
Yeah.
Asian food. Like clay pot, we want a fucking lid over it because it's so ugly that I don't care what it looks like as soon as I like flip it. If it looks nice, good.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I don't care. I'm gonna mix this up anyways.
I just want it to taste good.
Yeah.
But there was like 0 toppings on it.
Yeah,
and it was mostly rice and soy sauce.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy I have rice, but what the fuck, dude? You're from Hong Kong and you said you opened a restaurant because there was no good Hong Kong restaurants here, and this is what you give me?
Yeah.
This is a peasant meal for me. When I make food at home, if I'm like, oh, there's nothing to eat, it's 1 a.m. in the morning and I just want to eat something, and you're like, oh, I have leftover rice, let me just pour some soy sauce on it and like microwave this and that. I was like, oh my God, it's so sad.
Yeah, I also had to learn I think it took us 2 or 3 restaurants in France before we're like, no more Asian food. We're fucking done with this shit.
Oh yeah.
Because we're like, oh, maybe that one just sucked. Let's try this other one. It's like, no, it's still not that good. And then we try this other one. It's like, man, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, I ain't gonna waste my money on this anymore.
Yeah. The other surprising thing I found was that like Italian food in France was pretty good. Like just their pastas and shit.
Ooh.
It was really fucking good. But I just feel like they just know how to cook pasta properly, which is like, I feel like that's one of the biggest allure to good pasta is just doing the pasta right.
Yes.
Right? Like the sauce could be almost bland, like very light flavor, like a lemony salt flavor even then.
Yeah.
But the pasta's done right.
The texture of it.
It's perfect.
I agree. I do like pasta, but I feel like typically on a regular day in Edmonton, I would never go for pasta, or I would try not to because it's just straight carbs.
Dude, I find there's a huge difference between the pasta here and the pasta in Europe. It's I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
It's just better. I agree.
It's better.
It's better.
Also, when I went to Mexico, we had, you know how like you have themed restaurants? So we want to try all the ones in our resort and shit, and one of them was an Asian themed one.
Was it bad?
It was pretty bad. But like right after we went, I was like, you want to go to the buffet? Because it was like half the food I didn't like. First of all, it wasn't a lot of food, but second of all, I was like half the stuff I didn't really fully eat because like this is kind of gross.
Oh my God! Tell me about it. Okay, the Thai. I didn't go to the Asian restaurant. There was a Japanese restaurant at my resort too. Yeah. The last resort I went to, and I went to the Thai restaurant first because that's where they were having the rehearsal dinner. Dude. Okay, so for everything was like not bad at first for the entrees, the appetizers, but we had 2 options for dessert, creme brulee or mango sticky rice. Yeah. I asked for both of them because I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll try both of them. Yeah. The freaking creme brulee was burnt on top, but not with sugar. Like the actual custard itself was charred like as if it was a Portuguese tart. Yeah. And there was no sugar on top at all.
That's gross.
And I was like, how the fuck is this creme brulee? There's no brulee part. It's literally creme.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, oh, holy shit, this is the worst mango sticky rice I've ever had in my life. Like if you go to TNT sells frozen sticky rice that you can buy and you can heat up by yourself, and it has the mango in it and all that stuff. That tastes so fucking good compared to what I got. So what I got was this little bowl of rice, but the rice itself was the same texture as congee.
Oh, that's pretty gross.
Which is like, what the fuck? This isn't sticky rice. It's just regular rice, but made like congee. And they put like coconut milk in it, but they didn't sweeten it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they put 1 cube of mango on top. Literally 1 cube of mango. Like a square inch of mango.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
And I was like, how the fuck is this mango sticky rice? You've literally never had it in your life if you think this represents any other sticky rice that you've had.
Yeah. I wish... So I've only been to one Mexico resort. So I can't... It's hard for me to judge because maybe my experience wasn't as great. Mm-hmm. I really wish the resort just made really good Mexican food. Like, fuck all these other things they're trying to do and all this other stuff.
Because you're in
like,
Mexico.
Yeah, I was like, just make fucking the best carne asada every day. And I'd probably just eat it almost every day. Right? Instead of like trying to make all, because like I don't know, like when I went to the buffet, they always tried to make all these different things, like this pork chops and all this other stuff. And I was like, you know what? I just wanted a good taco or some shit like that.
Yeah, like, surprisingly, they don't really have tacos there.
Yeah, it was like I just wanted really, really good meat and then tortilla, like and then really good salsa. But I felt like that was such a minute portion of the entire buffet.
Oh, I agree.
I felt like most of the buffet was like just like rice and all these other like Caucasian dishes that weren't necessarily Mexican. That being said, the resort I went to was like owned by an Italian, so the pasta there was actually pretty good. But still, I was like hoping and wishing for just like good straight up Mexican food.
Yes.
Like when I had the now maybe I'm uncultured, but when I had the nachos there and stuff, I was like, this isn't that good. It tastes kind of stale.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I tried to get nachos at my place too, and I thought it was just very mid.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like these are the things that you could do really, really well on, like literally street food shit, and like focus a little less on the other, random Caucasian food.
Did you leave the resort at all and eat outside of the resort?
We didn't. So we ate because our hotel or our resort had a sister resort, so we could eat at both. So with that, we pretty much had all our meals there. We did have one where like our excursions provided a meal, and that was actually pretty good too.
What was the meal that you got?
It was just a buffet style, but it was like in the jungle, and they made like chicken and like they had like salsa and chips and all this shit. It was actually pretty good. I actually like that one. When we walked on the strip, we didn't really, or the place near, where was it again? Not Cancun, but the one further south. Was it? I forget what that's called.
I have no idea. My sense of my.
Anyways,
geographic
like Playa del Carmen or whatever, right? When we walked around the area, we didn't really eat because we already ate before we went out, and we just hung out and walked around. I should have, but I was like, fuck it.
Have you ever
had Mexican food in Mexico
outside of the resort? Yeah.
No. Okay. I should have.
It's really fucking good.
Probably, yeah. I don't doubt it.
Like really fucking good compared to inside the resort, like the tacos.
Yeah.
At my last trip, I ate at 2 restaurants outside of the resort.
Yeah.
Was it 2? Yes, 2. And they were both really fucking good.
Way better than the resort food?
Way better than resort food. Way better than maybe on par or better than any taco that I've had here, or the best taco I've had here, which I can't even name off the top of my head.
That's why I'm contemplating, like, if I ever even want to do a resort trip again. Because the resort was nice that you can go and eat anytime you want, but the food wasn't that amazing, right? That being said, when I went on a cruise, those are some of the best meals I've ever had.
Like a ship cruise?
Yeah. When I went on like a 5-day cruise, I feel like because you can't do much, they really focus on making really good food for you.
Oh, really?
That's what I feel like, at least. Like, you can't just like do anything. Like, you're kind of stuck on the ship, right? There's nothing amazing to do other than okay, they do have some activities.
Which cruise was it?
It was a Norwegian cruise. It was from Miami to Bahamas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I felt like they made some of the best foods there. Like for breakfast, every breakfast I had smoked salmon and cream cheese and all that shit.
Oh, that's true.
And it was really good. I had the shits every day, but I didn't care. It wasn't like really bad shits. It was like...
Why did you have the shits?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's probably from the smoked salmon, if I'm being fucking honest. But it was so good, I had to eat it every morning. It was like eggs and smoked salmon every morning, right? And then I remember that they owned an island, so we went onto their island and they had a barbecue for us on their island. Like, this is the island that the company owned.
That's pretty fucking sick.
Pretty much, you see like 3 other cruise ship, all the same company, and they all bring people to the island like day after day.
Oh, that's
right?
awesome. But is this a big island?
No, I mean, I want to say it's huge. No, you could probably walk around it in an hour.
Right?
It's not like huge. But they had a barbecue on the island, and I was like, dude, this is some of the best barbecue food I've ever had. And they pretty much brought food from the ship to the island to grill and all that stuff. I was like, dude, this is really
what was it?
Good. Like the barbecue?
Yeah.
It was like ribs, corn, so there's a lot of ribs, corn, and then some brisket, and like just other random meats like sausages and all these other things. But the food was like really fucking good.
Oh,
it's very like barbecue, like southern barbecue food, right? Like toast and corn and all that other shit. But I was like, dude, this is really fucking good.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. But then every other time where I've had like a, say, buffet experience, like a resort and shit like that, or even when I went to Hawaii, we went to like this one luau, which I really wanted to go. It's pretty much like
they take the pig, dance and do
like
all that shit.
At the beginning, they like dig the pig up and then, they'll cut up and shit. I feel like the food was so meh.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I wanted to do it just for the experience, right? Like, you see the dancing and you see all this other random shit. And you get to like see all these activities they do. And you see like a bunch of Hawaiians whore themselves out for money and shit. Like, climb trees and shit and then get tips and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Wait, what? They climb a tree for you for no reason and you just
tip they just teach you, or they don't teach you, but they show you like the Hawaiian way of climbing this tree and shit, and they like tie something around their waist and they go all the way up the tree.
Oh, I've seen it before.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they kind of expect tips after. Not like they'll do one show and then they'll have something for tips.
Just show?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's like at set times and shit.
Yeah.
And then there's a one part of it where it's like there's a little boat. You get to like, it's like a tiny canoe-ish, like kind of a canoe, but not really. And then you go around the like lagoon and you come back.
Oh, that's so cool. I would do that.
Them and stuff. Yeah, but it's just that. And then we had a buffet dinner. It's just kind of average. It wasn't like amazing food or anything like that. Actually, I find Hawaiian food very overrated. Only because it's like so expensive.
I've heard
it's so expensive, and then I feel like the food I had at Joyce's family's place was better than the food I bought like elsewhere. I was
Yikes.
like, I don't know. This food's kind of
I've
whatever.
never been to Hawaii, so
it's expensive. I don't know. I think it
looks really nice though.
It's really nice. Like every day is so nice. But I think it's kind of overrated for the food and stuff. And I feel like if you're on a budget, it might not be the best place. Even though there's pretty decent flights there now, I still think if you're on a budget, it's not the best because it's so fucking expensive. I think the best, actually not even the best. So like I heard it's even hard to just live there.
Oh really?
Because like everything's so expensive even for locals and shit. Because they have to import everything, right? So you have like super generational houses, as in like there's like 3 generations in one house because no one can really.
Really
get a house. Shit. It's so expensive and shit.
I heard that's. Sorry, no, continue.
I was gonna say it's kind of rough. Like I was gonna say the nice thing is maybe if you work there, you probably have higher wages because everything's so expensive there. So if you work there and then you go on vacation in like actual US, you actually could probably do more with your money because you're making more in general. But to live there is pretty expensive.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wonder if people. I'm sure there are people that hack this, and this is something that I would want to hack too, which is work for a country that pays you. Like, for example, work for the States, a country in the States, and work remotely and just live in Canada.
Yep.
So then you get paid in USD.
I think the biggest is like so much more. Border cities. So Seattle, Vancouver. So work in Seattle, live in Vancouver. So every day you have to drive like an hour and a bit, but it's like, dude, the money you make is
insane.
A lot. Or I think Buffalo and Niagara are right next to each other. So like I think a lot of border cities this happens. And it's like really, I think it's pretty value.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Especially when companies allow you to work remotely now. I feel like if you can find a full remote role, it's chef's kiss is amazing. Yeah,
it'd be cool. I personally think there is some value to not full remote. Like there's still some value of seeing the person you're working with and shit.
Yeah, then they would actually feel like you know them.
Yeah. Like it's hard to. Okay, first of all, you shouldn't be super angry with your coworkers and shit. You know, they're still people too. They're still trying to live their life. But it's even harder to be angry with anyone when it's like your coworker as a kid, they had a bad day. It's like, you know, give them a break and shit.
And you actually know them face to face.
Yeah. But then if you're always working online, you'll just be like, why isn't this shit done?
Yes, that's
like,
true.
Like your boss might say that to you, even though they don't know you've had a rough day, you have kids, you have to deal with and shit.
I feel like that's why companies who have remote employees put a lot into like team bonding, or they try to promote having your camera turned on.
Yeah. But I feel like it's not the same. And it can never be the same. Like, unless Mark Zuckerberg can really get meta to work, but even then it just feels different. Like the whole, you know, seeing each other, having a meal together, it's just something that you can't replicate, right? Like no matter how much you try, there's no way you can replicate that experience. Like if you had a barbecue together at work, eating the same food together, I feel like that it feels something different. That almost I say almost because maybe AI can do something, but can't really replicate it no matter how hard you try. Like yeah, you can give everyone like DoorDash gift cards to buy food for this meeting and shit, but it's like you're not all eating the same thing and you're not all like dealing with the same thing at the same moment, right?
I can see it for sure. There are a few months where I worked from home for like 4 months straight. At one point, and like literally never went into the office at all. And at that point I kind of felt a little disconnected from my team, and it just felt like, oh, this is work. Everyone's just working just to work, you know?
Yeah.
This is just something that you do. But whenever I go into the office, like for example, I went into the office today, and pretty much around like 3:00 everyone was just hanging out. And at my office every Friday at 3:00, if you're there, it's beer o'clock, and everyone stops working at 3, and we all have drinks while I drink water.
Yeah,
and typically at lunchtime too, we have treats. So like sometimes my boss or my manager will treat us all to like some sort of dessert or like coffee or bubble tea or something, like coffee from Starbucks, or like bubble tea, which was today. Today was bubble tea. And when people are doing that, it feels a lot more personable than like if I was outside of the office, of course. And then everyone was just kind of standing there in the lounge area and was just chatting and talking about, oh, what are you doing this weekend, and just chatting and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this actually feels pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's like on a day-to-day, for most people, you already get treated like an employee.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you don't get any real social interaction makes you feel even more like an employee.
Yeah.
Like you're literally just whoring yourself for
money.
I'm
just a fucking slave.
Yeah. But with that, at least it's like,
we're together.
feel something. Kinda. And it's also like, I can do a job I hate, but work with people I like. That's something I've done, and I've done many times in my life. And it's like for the people.
Yes. The people make a huge difference.
I cannot do a job that I love, but I hate the people. I was agree. Like, that's way too hard compared to the other way around. The other way around, I feel like, is manageable. Like, you can figure it out. You can really hate your job and love the people, and then
feel
slowly,
like you're suffering together.
Yeah, and then slowly find a way to like it or develop skills together and shit.
Or eventually find a new place because it's not worth it.
Yeah. But if you really like your job, but the people are complete dog shit, I feel like you always have like your head on a swivel. You're not sure who's gonna be a dick to you and like who's gonna like fuck you over. Right?
Every fucking hour feels like shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree fully.
Yeah. So I was like, that's the minimum criteria for me. And there are people who are like a bit more corporate and it's annoying. But then when you have coworkers that aren't, then it's like, it's kind of nice because when they're not around, you like, like, oh, that guy's kind of annoying. You're like, yeah, we all agree, it's cool.
Yeah. Or they at least seem more like a person than just a shell of a human being.
Yeah.
Which I'll have to admit, sometimes at work I act like a shell of a human being because I'm like, okay, I'm just here for work.
I can see that happening for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just here for work. I'm just here to do my shit and then leave or sign off.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I don't think I've told. Actually, aside from this last vacation, I haven't told work what I've been doing on vacation like ever. Whenever I book time off, I'm just like, oh, I'm just taking time off. Oh, I'm just doing things by myself. And I'll fucking leave the city the next day.
Yeah.
Aside from this holiday, actually.
Yeah, I feel like at the company I actually work for, they have a little less culture in the office. So it is kind of like you just do your own shit. And the company I work for now, it's like, the people are struggling together. Shit's hard. So we're like, working together through it and figuring it out together. And it just feels like there's a bit more bond, even though the work kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like,
must feel a lot better, right?
Feels better. And then for me, like I've mentally prepared myself already. Like I know it's going to be much harder than what I did before, but I'm going to learn a lot more too. So it's like, I came in with that mindset where it's like, I'm ready to get destroyed every fucking day.
Get my ass raped.
Yeah. Like, sometimes at work, so like I work with this one engineer. He's super smart engineer, but sometimes he talks to you like you're kind of dumb and shit.
What a bitch.
But then I just take it. I was like, yeah, sure, that makes sense, right? Because I'm just like, fuck it. This guy's smart. He knows what he's doing, and he might not have the social interaction to figure it out. That's not for me to judge. I just want to like absorb as much from him as I can, and if I'm at all even a little bit arrogant, I'm not gonna absorb enough. So then I just have to like full humility and just like eat shit all day.
What a humble man.
Just to like learn as much as I can from him, because he is a smart guy and he is a very good engineer. He's just not good socially, right? So it's like, it is what it is. I think I'm pretty good socially at work. So it's like, if I can combine his knowledge, which is what I'm trying to do right now, and my skills, I think I can go pretty far. So it's like, let's just fucking do it. So most days, like when I talk to him and he's like, teaching me all this shit, I was like, fuck it. I was like, I just go straight into like EIT mode where I'm just like, just tell me what you want. I'm going to do what you want, and then I'm not going to disagree with the shit.
Eye on the prize.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
I mean, I feel like not all people... I feel like a younger version of me won't be able to do that. I feel like me now, it's like, it's not worth it. It's like, just fucking... Just let him say what he wants to say, and then just learn.
What's an example of how he says what he says to make you feel like he's
It's not necessarily he's saying really rude things, but he'll try to teach you from like you don't know shit.
Oh.
Right? Which is sometimes not a bad assumption, right? But I'm like, I have been an engineer for a while, so I do know some of the stuff he's talking about, right? So, but then for me, I just say like, no, this is good. Like, teach me like I don't know shit. If that's the best way of you communicating to me to teach me things, then that's how we should do it.
That sounds pretty good. Because what if the way that you knew how to do it is very different from how he started knowing how to do it, and the way that you execute it lies in how you started.
That's true. So yeah, it removes a lot of the assumption and shit. But sometimes when they do that a lot, it's like kind of like they're talking down. Can you
give me some credit here type of thing?
Yeah. But then I don't think of that at all. I'm just like, hey, fuck it. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna let him like say that, and then I'm just gonna whatever I learn, I'll learn. Right? And then whatever I already know, just shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to repeat that you know it, even though he doesn't think you know it. Just let him say it. Right? That's kind of how I think of it. It's like just shut up. You know it, and him saying that is just him repeating that you know it. So just let him say it as many times as he wants. This is how I kind of think of it.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I was like, here's what it is. I'll learn what I can.
But I was gonna say, what if you not making it known that you already know the basics might, I don't think I started this sentence off properly, but what if it hinders you from advancing in your position? Or is it that as long as you hit your metrics, then you're fine?
The best part
and he won't hinder your growth in any sense by being like, oh yeah, it seems like Alvin doesn't really know the basics, or I have to explain the basics all the time, but it's okay. At least he's hitting all his KPIs.
So the best thing is I'm a contractor, so there's no growth for me in this company.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So there's zero corporate growth. So it's like my goal is just to do what they fucking tell me, and don't try to improve their system in any way, because it won't help me in my career that much. Like, I still belong to my company, and I just need to absorb as much knowledge as I can. So when I go back to my company, I'm much more useful, and I can grow more there. Whereas here, it's like I'm a contractor, so it's like there's no ladder for me to climb. I don't work for you guys. You guys aren't gonna reward me for good work. You guys already have by paying my company to pay me, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
You can give a good word to my boss saying like I did well, but I highly doubt my boss is gonna base his full evaluation of my progress on just that word.
I can see that.
So I think for me, at least corporately, which I personally don't want to care for, this doesn't do anything for me. So it's like, it's good. It's like, I'll just do whatever you say, and if you think I'm dumb, then whatever, because
so be it.
I still get paid whatever, right? So that's the good part, where it's like I should just, like, when I was talking to the other contractors, like, yeah, just fucking do what you're told. Like, because at first I was like, oh, maybe we can change the system to make it better or more efficient this way. But then after a while, I'm like, nah, that's something I should do when I'm like at my own company and we can actually fix things. Like, this is their system. It's nothing for me to fix. Like, it's not my place to fix their system.
They don't care for you to fix it.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if it was my own company, I would be like, we should do it this way. It's a better way of doing it. And then they would be like, that's good. Let's implement this project and like this plan to do it this way. Right. Whereas for them, it's like, I'm a contractor. So it's like, my words don't weigh that much here.
I can see that.
So it's like, I'm literally a temp worker for them. So there's no ladder for me to climb here. Now there are people who have been contracted for them and then they end up getting hired by them.
But you don't want that.
Not really. I kind of like the whole joy of being in consulting is like, you don't do just one type of job for the rest of your life. Like there's a lot of different engineering work you do there. You might get really good at one type of job, but you still get exposed to all these other things, which is nice being a consultant. Even though it may or may not mean you don't get paid as much, there's still a possibility for you to one day like do your own thing as a consultant. But if you work for like a refinery and shit, you're never gonna run your own refinery or have your own refinery. I mean,
you can, but it's never gonna take off in your lifetime to the extent that you want it to.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's very unrealistic to think that you'll quote unquote own a refinery, right? So those people who are there, they get paid more, but they're kind of limited to what they do, right? And for most people, that's actually great. For me, I just always like to do different things. So like being in the consulting world is kind of nice because of that, right? So that's why I think, at least, and it just makes me not hate my life as much as if I were to like do something monotonous but get paid a lot of money. But I have to do that for the rest of my life, then I'd probably hate myself a little bit more.
We can see that. What if the thing that you're doing, even if it's monotonous, is something that you really enjoy doing?
Oh no, that's good, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but then part of it, when you work for like a single company and you're doing this one thing, it's like there is some ladder you have to climb.
Right? I can see it.
Consulting, I feel like maybe it's easier to move around to and shit. There's still like your credibility is with the projects you've done, not for the companies you work for.
Yes.
Whereas like in the refinery, it's like about years of service and stuff like that.
Oh, and experience, and it doesn't really matter what you do. It's just how long you've been dedicated to the industry.
Kinda. I think you're respected more for years of service. Years of service does mean something, but you're respected a bit more. Whereas like doing cool projects might lead to cooler projects when you're in consulting. Just depends on luck, I guess.
I heard that's what insurance is like. It doesn't matter how good you do. It's typically based off of your years of industry practice.
How many years you fucked people over?
Yeah.
Insurance? Dude, the more I learn about insurance, the more I fucking hate it.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. They're all assholes.
I heard insurance in America and Canada is very different from anywhere else.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like we pay very high insurance and we're not supposed to use it or else your insurance goes up even more.
Yeah. Whereas other places, like you pay the insurance and
if you use it, it doesn't really go higher.
Oh, okay.
It's literally what insurance should be.
It's like fair value.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've always told my, like, it sounds really crude when I say it to my mom, but I always tell her, like, do you understand what insurance is? Because she's always asking, like, should I buy this insurance? Should I buy this insurance? I was like, Mom, when you buy insurance, especially life insurance, you're betting on your life. You're saying, I'm putting a gamble. If I die, you guys, not me, obviously, because you're dead, will get millions of dollars. I'm like, that's not how you should treat your life anymore, Mom. Like, maybe if you had, like, dependents, you might have to take that gamble. As in, like, you have kids, so you don't want to just, like, perish and they don't have not just a father figure or mother figure, but money, too, to survive. But at the point of your life where it's, like, you're old enough, it's like, is this necessary anymore? You know what I mean?
I heard this one thing that for life insurance, you don't have to wait till you're dead for your beneficiaries to benefit from your life insurance. Your life insurance, you can use it while you're alive.
Yeah, so I don't know completely, but what they do is I think you pay and then you get paid out later at a certain age from your insurance. But what I think it is it's like non-inflation adjusted shit.
Yes.
So then that means you're losing all the opportunity cost of all the money you paid into insurance.
I haven't fully looked into it, but that's just what I heard.
Which I feel like at the end of the day is still not worth it, right? Like, you should be insured for exactly how much you need to be insured for. Any more is not worth it anymore. Because at the end of the day, you have to still think about it as it's a bet on your life.
Yes.
Right? So, like, what's the point of having $1 million if you're fucking dead?
That's true.
Right? But that being said, if you have, like, dependents and stuff, then you're like, okay, I need to make a bet on my life. If I do pass away, that money is able to pay for all their debts and give them a little bit of money to keep moving on. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe I'm not thinking big enough because I'm not thinking about like generational wealth and shit. But it's like, you know, I would like it if one day I had kids and I passed away that they would make their own living.
Yeah. And
they wouldn't just, you know, rely on inheritance. Not that being said, I would like to make a lot of money, but I would not like my kids to rely on that money.
Actually, I'm kind of the opposite.
You want to like support a generation after you?
I don't care about the generation after me. Like if I was to think about that specific thought, I don't fucking care. I won't be dead. I mean, I won't be alive to care. I'll be dead.
Yeah.
But if I think about while I'm alive and knowing that I can make my kids not have to worry about their basic needs and have to survive like that, then I would do so. It's kind of like the same as right now. If I was financially able to support my entire family and like those closest to me or whoever, I would so do it. So no one has to work. I don't give a shit what you do with your life.
I think it hurts
for me. For me personally, it feels good that I know that you don't have to worry about that stuff, and that I can take that type of burden off of you as somebody who cares for you.
I think it hurts them more than it helps them.
I think they could be a lazy piece of shit, but to me, it's like a glass half full type of mentality. But I like to think that it'll alleviate them from stress, from having to worry about their basic needs and basic shit, that they can live life. Spend a day growing flowers if you fucking want to. I don't care. But now your life feels like better and you don't have to have that basic stress. And I can be the person to take it off for you. So I would do that for the people I love and the people that I care for. And that would be including my kids. Not necessarily because I'm trying to build generational wealth for them, but so that I could do that specific intent of taking care of them in that way.
But I think it's more harmful than it is helpful. Like way more harmful than it's helpful.
Because they become lazy.
Well, not just that, but yeah, they just become like, yeah, they don't know how to do it. But I feel like sometimes that stressor is like a good thing for growth.
I do think so. There's positive and negative stress.
Yeah, and then I feel like, okay, this is like me thinking on the bad side of it, right? That's like, it feels greedy. It feels like you get a really good feeling, but they get fucked by not having these stressors that could help them grow. Right? So like, great, you feel really good, which is what you should do for you, but for them, it might not be good because it may not be forever. And then when it's not forever, then they're really fucked. Right? That's how I
can see that.
That's how I kind of think of it. That's why I always want, like, I don't want to, like, I want to be able to, but I don't want to, because I think it's necessary I feel like sometimes the suffering is very necessary.
For character growth, of course.
Yeah.
For most things, or I would say almost everything that you do in life when it comes to doing something for someone else, I would say that if you trace it back enough, you could say everything's greedy, because it will always come back to because it feeling good for you to do that some way, somehow, whatever it is.
Yeah, but the greedy aspect is that it feels good for you, but it harms them. Now, it's not intentionally harming them, right? It's like the whole, like, don't feed the wild animals, right? You're not intentionally trying to harm wild animals when you feed them, but then you make them dependent on you, and then they can't survive on their own, and then they die.
Yes,
right? So then you're like, you're not intentionally doing it, but the greedy part is that you feel good, and non-intentionally they're being harmed. Is how I think of it, right? So that's why I've always thought, like, I like to be able to. I like to have the ability to, but I like to not have to.
If you had the money to retire your mom right now.
Yeah, she's retired.
Oh, your dad?
They're both retired.
Oh, okay, never mind. If you had the money to retire your siblings,
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it. I would do alternatives to it. I'd be like, say I won the lottery, a significant amount.
Here's your mortgage done.
Yeah, I'll pay for the rest of your mortgage, and I'll buy you a new car. But after that, you have to pay for the insurance for this car. You got to pay for everything else for this house. You got to pay for all the property tax for this house. So you can't just live off what I just gave you. You still need to work, and you still have to figure out a way for your own wealth. Right? Is what I would do. Or I would do things like, okay, I'll put like a trust fund for your kids for school. So when they go to university, they don't have to worry about tuition. Or something like that.
I can see that.
But I wouldn't just straight up like, oh, here's your grocery bills paid. Here's all this thing paid. Here's all this other stuff paid. I'd be like, I'd give you a grand gesture of, I believe if you won the lottery and you're my sibling, you would help me out in some sort of way. But I wouldn't expect it either. As in, like, if my siblings won the lottery, yeah, it'd be great if they, bought me some car parts for my car. But I'm not going to expect it either. Right? I'm not going to expect them to pay my bills for me. I'm not going to expect anything. Right? It's their money at the end of the day. That's how I would do it. Now, I know some people would say that's also greedy, but it's like, I feel like
everyone has their own preference.
Yeah, I feel like them not being a lazy sack of shit is more important to me than having stuff. Yeah, that's how I've always treated. And like, it's not the best mentality, but I always thought everyone has to suffer. So
I don't think it's best or worse. I think it's just your preference, and I can see why.
Yeah,
like if they become a lazy piece of shit and they don't do anything anymore and they literally just like rot all day, then it's like, yeah, obviously you did something bad for them as a human being.
Yeah,
because now they have no more growth and they're not challenged and they have no goals. Then of course it sucks.
I think that's probably like the weirdest thing to say. Is that's probably like one of the most annoying thing I'd have to deal with if I did win the lottery. Is like these fucking leeches of my family will probably all ask for something, and I need to do something, but I cannot just be like supporting them fully. You know what I mean? I have to be like, okay, I'll buy you guys all a trip. We'll all go on a trip together. And that's it.
I would happily be like, yeah, sure. My money's your money.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I do something with this money so that we can all live without needing to work if you don't want to.
That's the crazy thing too, because like if you technically invested that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wouldn't work because if they keep taking it, then the investment will never grow.
Oh well, yeah.
And then you get fucked by inflation so hard.
I would be like this. All right, I'm gonna give you guys enough money to cover your debt right now, or whatever you need to at least like elevate your lifestyle to a point where you're a little bit comfortable now. And I'm gonna spend the rest of this money to invest. And then as I gain profits or whatever I get with it, I will share it so that you guys can maintain a comfortable lifestyle, but not to the point where you guys like drain this money that I have to the point where none of us can have it good.
But that's the hardest part, is that every fucking cent you take out is affecting the growth so
Less
hard.
Investment
is affecting the growth so hard. So it's like you get fucked either way. You get fucked either by inflation.
You know what? I am a glass half full type of person.
Okay,
I like to think that everything will be all rainbows and sunshine.
That's true. No, I did think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. We'll go Calgary for a weekend.
Let's take a trip down to South Side.
Yeah. A good old trip to IKEA. We used to do that as kids because IKEA was always so far.
I fucking love IKEA.
So IKEA trip was like a full day excursion for us.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah,
you get the meatballs and everything.
Yes, we get the full meal. So good. And shit. All right, anyways, we're gonna end it off here. We have shit to do. And,
thanks for hearing us yap, guys.
Yep, we're just yapping away. Good podcast on what do we talk about in general? Food, Chinese New Year's,
traveling,
and other random shit.
Yeah, my brain goes to mush.
I feel like there's a middle part that we totally skipped out on the summary here. Because
Chinese New Year's.
No, it was something else.
Family traditions.
It was something before Chinese New Year's. It was like
your car,
and then something, and then Chinese New Year's.
Dude, I don't know anymore. We'll see.
It's okay. I have to do the summary for this podcast when I post it, so I'm fucked. But yeah, I'll just have to YOLO this one.
Surprise topic in the middle, guys.
Yeah. All right.
Listen to find out.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye.